Hi there, VC. This is Bev. Clarkovision. Sorry, I was just trying to avoid showing them on the camera, but never mind. So this is just really an update video. I thought I would jump on while I've got a spare few minutes. And just I think the last video I did must have been about a couple of weeks ago or something like that. I have been scaling back my music buy-in at the moment due to Christmas. You know, obviously I've got to curtail what I spend on music at the moment, as it has to go to other things, obviously. So I haven't really been buying a lot. I've picked up one record and a DVD set, which I'm thrilled to bits. I saw that on eBay, and it's quite tricky to come across, so I decided to go for that. I did a small kind of deal with Metal Mickey, who was getting rid of some more of his unwanted CDs. I'm quite surprised he's unwanting what he's unwanted, but anyway, he's obviously pursuing other musical corners at the moment, so that's fine. But they've gone from one good home to another anyway. So I just thought I would jump on and show what I've got. And I think the other thing is I'm kind of not really having a great month, I must admit. I've been kind of stressed out of it with other things in life, and we kind of had an unexpected bereavement in the family actually last week that just came out of the blue, which hasn't helped matters, obviously. So you know, so I think there might not be as many until Christmas. You know, obviously, depending on what Santa Claus throws down the chimney, you know, there'll probably be something. I would hope, because I did write a wee letter to Santa again this year, so we'll see how that goes. But without further ado, I'll just get on with it, because I could end up rambling for God knows how long here, as you know. So the discs that I've got in recently, the ones from Metal Mickey, this other one which I got from Cloudy Milder, and you know, just the last couple of days I've just been sitting listening to these new albums, and well, they're new to me. It's kind of helped lift me up a little bit again. So the first one, I'll just get into it. And I think if you've watched Headbanging Zulu recently, one of his latest videos, he showed the very same thing. This is Tigers at Pantine's Ritual. Their brand new album just out last month. It was released actually on the night these guys came to Edinburgh, and Cloudy Milder was going to the gig, and I asked if he would be kind enough to grab me a copy of the album and get it signed. Failing that, I was going to order it from their website anyway. There is the CD, and he duly did that for me, which was really decent of him, and they've signed it kind of on the faces of each band member. This is one of these things, I think this unfolds like this. So you've got all the band members here, and each one of them have signed it on their face. And you've got credits and lyrics, and on this side you've got it's like a map. It's like an old style. It's like something you'd get out of Running Wild, perhaps. But it's kind of interesting to look at. This is the Cliffs of Pantine. Here's Mr. Tiger. There's more than one tiger, I think. You know, and Seahorse Straits. This looks like the Loch Ness Monsters out here, actually. So, you know, it's just pretty cool. when you look at that as well. But as for the album itself, no doubt Cloudy Mile, I'll update us later on the actual gig by the band. But this album, I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. Really good stuff. Obviously, it's not the original Tigers of Pantang, but I think this is one of their best since their debut that I've heard. It's got really crunching guitars and lovely melodies and harmonies. The vocalist they've got now, he's a good singer, but the backing vocals as well. I've got a bit of dry mouth coming on, excuse me. But just overall, really good sounding, straight up hard rock heavy metal. It's really good. I do encourage you to check them out. Check this out, it's great stuff. The first 5 songs when I put on right up to Spoils of War, fantastic all the way up. And then I continued, and pretty much almost every song I think is really pretty decent on here. So obviously that made me want to go and get their previous one as well, because I knew there was one they had out fairly recently, and that was just a self-titled Tigers of Pantang. So here it is. I decided to get this one on the vinyl because I absolutely think it's one of these ones where it has cool artwork. So this is just Tigers of Pantang from 2016, and both of these are on Mighty Music record label, which I think is a Danish label, because it's got mightymusic.dk, which I think is Denmark. And there's the back side. The only thing I find, it's just a little bit of a pet hate, is I'm not keen on the track listings being in a circle like that. It makes it difficult to read from where you're starting and where you're finishing. But apart from that, you know, that's a minor irk of mine, I suppose. But this is the planet, and it says, you know, it's kind of like the planet's exploding kind of thing. Into obliteration there with the tiger looking rather menacing. And this one, this previous one to Ritual, it's really good as well. There's a slight couple of creases on this, but you know, Amazon, but I can live with it. This is good as well. I would say it's this one, Ritual's probably just better, I would say, but this is really good as well. Pretty much most of the songs are really good stuff. Again, it's just traditional kind of hard rock metal, the same melodic vocals and harmonies there as the lyrics on that side, and the band and credits on this side, and it's just black vinyl. It does have their own custom labels though, which are pretty cool. That is side A, and again, you know, with the brightness of the light here, sorry, but that's side A, and side B. There we have it with the tiger again. So yeah, get into some Tigers of Pantang if you haven't listened to them in a while. Certainly check out the latest. I think it's great. So as I say, the first one, it was thanks to Cloudy for picking that one up for me, much appreciated. Thank you very much. I am considering buying this on vinyl as well because it's that good. So yeah, so the next set, I'll leave the DVD set till the end. Well, the other thing about the Tigers of Pantang, the vinyl one there, it does have a download code which came with it as well. So the next 5 here are ones I got from Metal Mickey. And I'm really chuffed to have these actually, as it happens, because I was after these albums. This one I grabbed Golgotha by W.A.S.P. Obviously it's their latest, the most recent, 2015 on Napalm Records, this one, Digipack, and it's got the booklet just that slips in that way. It's really smart, and I really enjoy this. This is excellent. I really like it. And the other one, which I was after from this band, was Babylon, which is previous to Golgotha. So I wanted this one as well. And this one was 2009, and this came out on, it's a different record, Demolition Records, I think, perhaps. There is the disc and the booklet there as well. Now, as far as W.A.S.P goes, I never got into W.A.S.P back in the day, and these two here are the very first W.A.S.P albums I've ever owned. But I don't know the whole story about them and about Blackie, but I know he kind of was born again or something like that, and he's now Christian or whatever. And therefore I think some of the lyrics and the songs are kind of written in that vein, which you can sort of, if you skim through the lyrics, you can see that. So that's kind of one thing that got me more interested, because back in the day they were very much the shock rock thing, but they're just a bit too much for me, to be honest with you. It was one of these bands where I was quite happy to leave aside because of some of their, just what they produced. So that was that. So I was delighted to grab these, and even more delighted to discover that I really enjoyed them. I think Babylon I just slightly prefer. I think I prefer that to Golgotha, just slightly, but both good. So that was first two. Next one, I grabbed this from Metal Mickey, Quartz, self-titled. This is their debut, but this is a reissue. It originally came out, God, when did it originally come out? Here's the CD, which it's not overly exciting to look at, obviously, but that's it inside. And bear with me, there will have a date in here. It was the 70s, formed in 1974, and they were originally called Bandy Legs. I think it was a good idea they switched their name to Quartz. So it was 1976, they signed to Jet Records, and that's when their debut came out. This reissued CD is from 2006, and that tells you a bit about how the band got started and where they emerged from. So they kind of came out 76, which was just before the new wave of British heavy metal. And I think because of that, because their subsequent records came out within that period, they sort of got swept along with that movement, I think. So that's kind of why they are kind of associated with the new wave of British heavy metal, but they were a wee bit before that in reality. This album does have a 70s vibe to it. It's I think if you like 70s Black Sabbath, you may enjoy this one. It's also produced by Tony Iommi, so he's had his influence on the record, but I really enjoy it. I think it's a pretty good straight 70s metal rock, so check out Quartz as well. And the last two I decided to pick up because I was going to hunt these down at some point, and since Metal Mickey had them available, which to my surprise, he obviously isn't too fussed for these albums perhaps, but it probably means I might find them okay. Megadeth and Megadeth, Endgame and United Abominations. I thought I'll just pick these ones up. There's another one I'm after, Cryptic something writings or something, I think. That's the other one I want to pick up, which will go along with Risk and Euthanasia, which I do have. I'm going to analyse these, and I'll throw these ones in as well. And if I get the other one before I do that, then I'll do the 5 of them probably. But my next Megadeth video won't probably surface until well into the new year. Don't look for it in the immediate future. It'll take me a bit of time to get round to that. But yes, I am quite chuffed to get these. These two happen to be Roadrunner records, and 2007, 2009. Really pleased to have these. I mean, it's kind of funny, I was looking at my Megadeth CDs, and for a band that I'm not a huge fan of, well, or their style of music, I've got quite a few. I've got about, I don't know, 7 or 8 other albums now, which I suppose is kind of amazing. But yeah, what was the other thing I wanted to say? I remember there was something going on a while back about your favourite Vic Rattlesnake. Well, I saw this inner artwork here, and I thought that's a cool one. I think I like him in that one, because that's him, I think. I thought that was pretty smart. If I was going to pick a favourite out of all the artwork that I've seen of him so far, that's a good one. So that was the 5 from Metal Mickey, so really chuffed to get these. So thank you, Mike, that was magic. And the one I saw on eBay, and I was just browsing, I had to jump on this because it's not easy, you don't see it around very much. And Nathan over at Metal Down Under, he has a DVD of them, and he urged me to try and grab a DVD if I could, because they were great in concert. And I am really pleased to actually grab this one off of eBay, and the seller said it was in almost as new condition, and he wasn't kidding. It is perfect, you know, it's been well looked after. So this is Avantasia, and it's the flying opera Around the World in 20 Days Live. So this is 2008 when they went on this tour, and it was to do with, it was after they had released the Metal Opera, I think. I know there's part 1 and part 2 of the Metal Opera on the album, and it's in this nice set, and you get the live show on disc 1, DVD 1. There is 2 DVDs and 2 CDs. So on the first disc you get the live concert. Disc 2 is Around the World in 20 Days, the movie, so it's like a documentary on the tour, I guess, and some bonus material. And disc 3 and 4 is the live show on CD. And they both come like this as well, and booklets. One's got, I don't know how you, Auris and Oculus. So this one is the DVDs. There are the discs in the back there, and you have this little picture booklet at the front as well, which is full of great images. That's the start. So some great live photos of all the people involved. You know, you've got Jorn Land, you've got Bob Catley, Amanda Somerville, these guys in this one. And the CD one is very similar. The one little thing is, just on the holding part, one of the bits snapped off, so this CD will fall out pretty easy, so I've just got to be careful with that. That's it falling out again. So that's the 2 CDs, and again you get another booklet with more brilliant live pictures of the guys involved. That's them on their trip visiting various places. So yeah, great stuff. So I was absolutely delighted to get it. I have not watched this yet, but this is going to be getting watched probably this coming weekend. I'm going to try and get that watched, and as I say, it's in lovely condition. Nuclear Blast. So that's my update. And so I shall catch you all in another video. It's obviously getting near to Christmas, so just wishing you all a Merry Christmas now, and hope you have a good time, and get lots of vinyl and CDs and things like that. And I shall see you all in another video. Bye just now.